Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your host, Raul Infante with Taking Dish Sports. Here are my co-host, Alexis Diaz.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Hey, so we're going to switch it up today, and we're going to be talking about the NFL, all the NFL trades, all the excitements, all the free agency signings. Let's go.
All right. So as we're recording this video, right, everyone in the world woke up to Le'Veon Bell agreeing to sign with the Jets. The Jets. That was shocking. And then yesterday, Odell Beckham, arguably a top 3, top 4 wide receivers in the game, gets traded to the Browns. The Browns? Oh, man. There's only one thing that I got to say is that I love it. I love this. I love it.
Absolutely. We'll start off with Odell Beckham. You know, he is the top highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, but he could be a game changer, especially with Jarvis Landry being there. Their quarterback is extremely reliable and an extremely accurate quarterback. He's learning and he's getting better. He's only going to get better throughout the years. Now they have 2 extremely talented wide receivers. They have an extremely talented tight end. Then you have Nick Chubb as your running back. And don't forget, Alexis, who did they sign in the offseason?
Let me see. Someone who got released
by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kareem
Hunt is on that team as well. And so I think that team is going to be extremely great. So going back to Le'Veon Bell, hey, congratulations to him getting that contract from the New York Jets. Yeah, he did get a high contract, and he did get the guaranteed money that he was expecting that he didn't get from Pittsburgh. However, you know, I think it's going to be great for him working with the Jets. He did deserve that money. The highest paid running back right now is Todd Gurley. When Todd Gurley is healthy, he is easily the best running back in the league. But right behind him, you got to give it to Le'Veon Bell.
See, I love this pickup for the Jets. You know, as those Patriots fans, you know, we dominate the AFCs. But what I'm thinking that the Jets finished doing is like they're looking at the future. When Brady's gone and Belichick is gone, if they could start developing a winning culture as of now, who knows who eventually is going to end up in the Jets. But going back to Le'Veon, right, a lot of people are actually criticizing him, saying that he actually took less money than actually just playing last year for Pittsburgh. But the issue with these players, right, is the guaranteed money. That's what gets the players' attention, is the guaranteed money. Because all it takes is one play, and the player will never get the opportunity to play again.
So we're going to give you guys one example. Remember Earl Thomas, you know, he came back. He wasn't sure that he wanted to do it because it was the end of his contract. You know, Earl Thomas is 29 years old this year, but that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted an extension, you know, get the respected money that he deserves. So he went on and signed with the Ravens, getting $14.2 million a year. Now, I think it's a great contract. Earl Thomas is extremely explosive. He's going to be joining a defense that's not afraid to play against any team in the NFL and also has a lot of swagger. He brings that intimidation just like Ed Reed used to do. So it's going to be fun seeing somebody like Earl Thomas joining a great defense like that already.
Oh, good for the Ravens. Good for the Ravens. They're getting back to how they dominated in the early 2000s, and it's the defense. The defense. I mean, they did lose to C.J. Mosley, which also went to the Jets. He got a ridiculous amount of money. But, you know, the Ravens, you know, they still got Harbaugh over there running things, you know. As long as they keep up with, like, having that good of defense, you're going to see the Ravens always in the playoffs.
Yeah, and speaking about safeties, also Tyrann Mathieu was another safety that got a great contract from the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs went and paid him $14 million a year in order to help out that struggling defense to try to top one of the top teams like the New England Patriots, how that happened in the AFC. Exactly. They got exposed with their you know, horrible secondary. It wasn't a secret that was something that they had to fix. However, I am concerned about the Chiefs because they went and you know, franchise tag D Ford to try to keep him on that team. I thought it was a great idea to do. Maybe they could, find out a better solution and re-sign him the following year. But they went ahead and traded him to the 49ers, and then they also released Justin Houston in order, not having to pay him those $15 million. A season. So even though you fix some of your woes in the secondary, how is that going to help you out with the interior pressure? I don't know, but we're going to go on and move on to the one QB that I thought actually has some credibility and actually landed on a team that has a solid defense and maybe was one player away, cough, cough, a quarterback away from being a title contender, which is Nick Foles.
See, I love Jacksonville going ahead and giving whatever money Nick Foles wanted. You know why? Because Jacksonville is literally a quarterback away and pieces here and there from winning a Super Bowl. 2 years ago, they met with New England in the AFC Championship, and everybody was counting them out. That year, they played phenomenal. Their defense was the number one defense. Blake Bortles actually had a good year. last year, the year that just passed, is like, what happened to the team? And you could tell it all starts with the quarterback, the person snapping the ball and throwing the ball to the wideouts. And Nick Foles, he got $85 million, and well deserved. That move right there just solidified Jacksonville as being a top 3 team in the AFC. And if they could get it together, right, the sky's the limit for those guys. The sky's the limit. And I know New England's always in the AFC Championship, but I could see Jacksonville against Cleveland or Jacksonville against Kansas City. But from those 3 teams, I could definitely see Jacksonville have an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, just a correction. What you meant to say was that it's $88 million for Nick Foles.
88? Ooh,
$88 million
for
for 4 years. So that puts it out there for $22 million a year, and it's well deserved. He went out there and did what he had to do in Philadelphia. Obviously winning that Super Bowl, and then being the underdog again this season, and pulling out W's in the playoffs. So well deserved there. Again, they were 1 or 2 plays away from.
I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Right, this is a side note. We don't have to get to it. You think Carson Wentz is overrated?
Carson Wentz overrated?
Yeah. Let's not get
I
into it.
I don't want to say no, because before he got hurt, he was, in my opinion, the MVP of the league. I didn't think that Tom Brady should have won the MVP of the league. He did play the whole season, but if Carson Wentz continued playing the rest of the season, that was easily going to be an MVP season for him as a rookie, just like the Kansas City quarterback did last year with Patrick Mahomes. Came in, took care of business, and I thought it was a unanimous decision there in the sense of MVP. So, that's my take there.
I'm going to say he's overrated, but it's a long explanation why, but we'll get back to that.
Listen, injuries like that are mainly mental. We got to see. Once he gets past that, I'll compare him to somebody like Paul George. I know it's a different sport, but look how long it's taken him, or somebody like Gordon Hayward. But anyways, let's get back to the NFL. I want to bring up one receiver that has caught my eye because, again, a little biased. Golden Tate, he's still a free agent. He's still out there. I know Detroit is signing a whole bunch of players from New England. Why can't we do the same, right?
Exactly. And see, I think Golden Tate, right, he's already at the end of his career, right? But he's still a top 20, top 25 wide receiver when he has a good quarterback throwing the ball to him. He's still one of the best route runners in the league right now, and I would love for him to sign with the Pats, right? Because he fits exactly what the Patriots are looking for when it comes to a player. Someone that's smart, someone that's a cerebral, someone that could pick up the playbook and understand it, someone that could have a good repertoire with Brady. That's why, like 6, 7, 8 years ago when we signed Chad Johnson, it was like, what are we doing here? He has a talent and all that, but we know that he doesn't put like the hours behind the scenes to like get that, get those the playbook on the wraps, knowing the audibles, knowing what Brady wants him to do, and I feel like Golden Tate is just probably waiting to see which of the teams that are out there that are close to winning a Super Bowl. Because I think if I'm the guy, right, he's made decent money, for throughout his career. He wants that ring, and I think he definitely is gonna end up with a team that's gonna go to the Super Bowl, or it has a good chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think that he would actually have an opportunity to sign with the New England Patriots, because I thought that we were gonna end up signing Trey Flowers. But once the Patriots finally cut Dwayne Allen and created cap space there, and we found out that Trey Flowers is not gonna re-sign because he obviously got his lucrative contract with Detroit. There is money there available to sign a guy like Golden Tate. Josh Gordon got his contract cut, but the Patriots still have him there. Can you imagine, if Josh Gordon can make a comeback and you go and have Josh Gordon, Golden Tate, Julian Edelman, and then Gronkowski? That's a hell of a team right there on the offensive side, at least for the Patriots.
And you know what name is surrounding the Patriots? Jared Cook. Jared Cook, that's a name that has been getting a lot of Patriots beat writers saying that, hey, New England's looking at Jared Cook. And I'm telling you, the way that Jared Cook balled last year, bring him to New England. I'll take him.
Right.
Bring him to New England.
Right.
But
so we're going to move on, and we're actually going to discuss what our favorite contract of all the contracts so far of the free agency has been in 2019 is. Go ahead, Alexis.
So I'm gonna go back to a guy that we were talking about earlier, and it's Le'Veon. One of the main reasons that I love Le'Veon Bell's contract was because the Jets set themselves to be successful. The Jets set themselves to eventually, be one of the top teams in the AFC East. Let's get it. Let's face the facts, the reality of things. The Patriots, once Brady and Belichick go their own ways, they retire, whatever. I personally think that the AFC is going to be a toss-up. And you still think the Patriots are going to dominate? I mean, obviously, I would love. I'm a Patriots fan. I would love the Patriots to dominate. But I just see right now the Jets making moves to eventually surpass New England, and giving Le'Veon Bell that contract. What was it? It was 5 years, 4 years, 5 years, $52 million. It was like $35 million guaranteed. Man, make your money, man. Make your money. And hey, he wanted to go with them. He had options. I don't know which teams he was like looking at, but he had options for him to say, all right, let me go to the Jets. Yeah, money probably did have a big thing to it, but they're having a top 3, top 4 player in this position.
Yeah, in my opinion, my favorite contract of all of them so far is Mark Ingram to the Ravens. He got 3 years, $15 million. That's a steal for the Ravens to get a guy like Mark Ingram. That's such a dangerous player. After contact and especially in the red zone, like they utilize him in New Orleans, and is also 39 years old, 32 years old. That's when they start going down. That's when his contract is up. So I think that the Ravens did a great job giving him that contract.
Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please write a comment.
And hit that bell button for more notifications. All right, so we're going to start it off with our least favorite contracts signed so far in this free agency of 2019.
So I'm going to have to go back with the same team, which I like the contract. This was a bad signing from them, and it's C.J. Mosley. $85 million? What are you doing, Jess? You just got Le'Veon Bell. Well, they signed C.J. Mosley before Le'Veon Bell, but you're going to throw all that money to Mosley? I mean, he was the best player, you could say, in the last year's Ravens defense, but $85 million? Oh, man, they got so much to go. And my thing is, if they want to compete with the Patriots in the next couple of years, when Brady's almost literally at the end of his career, people have been saying that for the past 3 years, and what has been the result? 2 Super Bowls, right? All right, just checking. And that's ludicrous for them giving him that amount of money, $85 million for an inside linebacker. Not even like a top-tier pass rusher, an inside linebacker. Jesus.
Well, I mean, it is a bad contract, but some teams do this in order to pull other players to convince them to join those teams. There hasn't been that many big-name players that signed with the Jets the last few years. It's been ticky-tacky players, and a lot of it has been drafted players that eventually leave for better teams. So it could have been that way that they went with that. So I'm going to go ahead and move on and actually pick my worst contract. I'm going to tell you a few names, and they're really, really great wide receivers. Corey Davis, Adam Thielen, Jordy Nelson, Julian Edelman, and Michael Thomas. Do you know what all those wide receivers have in common? They're actually getting paid less money than Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley, nothing taken away from Cole Beasley, right? But in order for him to make $7.2 million, he has to be more of an impactful player. If the Cowboys didn't utilize him in the right way, then that's 2 quarterbacks' faults. Tony Romo's and Dak Prescott and the offensive coordinator. But he has to go and show that he can go out there and perform and actually earn every penny. I don't think that 4 years, $29 million with his new team was an appropriate contract for him. What's your take?
So he went to the Bills, right? The Bills signed him?
Yes.
The Bills doing Bills things, to be honest with you. Seriously?
Pay the Bills.
Like, Beasley? You giving Beasley how much? 4 years, almost $30 million? What's wrong with you, Bills Mafia? What's wrong with your GM? Like, Jesus. Like, literally, I mean, technically he's their best wide receiver, but I feel like Zay Jones is going to have a great year coming up this year. But seriously, Bills? And my thing is, like, how all the wide receivers that you mentioned, all those wide receivers that you mentioned, they produce consistently. Yeah, Beasley could have those games where he's having 5 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown, but the dude is not consistent. And it goes back to you were saying how if Dallas just didn't use him right, and he goes ahead and has, let's say, if he has 6 touchdowns, I think it's a win for Buffalo. But I do not see a slot receiver, Corey Beasley, right, getting paid that much and being an impactful wide receiver. No. I agree with you completely saying that was a horrible contract. Matter of fact, I think it's as bad as the Devin Funchess deal. 1 year, $13 million.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, it is a lot of money. So that wraps up our takes on the best contracts and the worst contracts. So we're gonna move on, and I actually just want to do a quick take on AB. Go ahead and start off on that with the Oakland Raiders.
All right. So I love that. I love Oakland getting back to their feet after last year. John Gruden went ahead and traded arguably their 2 best players. He comes back, gets a bunch of picks in this upcoming draft, which is. They're saying that this year's draft, top 100 players that are getting drafted are all skilled defensive players. Like, if you're drafting a cornerback or a defensive tackle in the second round, 2 years ago, that same player would have gone drafted in the first round. Oakland did what New England does. Stack up on draft picks, make a few trades for them, get some veteran players, and next thing you know, Oakland looks a lot better than they did last offseason. AB is... See, a lot of people that I know say that AB is a diva, AB is this, AB is that. But one thing Antonio Brown is that people can't say he's not. Consistent. Yeah, last year you could say that he had like a down year, but he had the drama with Ben Roethlisberger of him not getting the ball, feeding the ball. He's going to go to Oakland. Who else they got? Jordy Nelson? Jordy Nelson's what, 45 years old? Nah, he's not 45, but you guys know what I mean. Antonio Brown easily becomes like, he goes back to being a top 3, top 4 fantasy wideout, and he goes back, I think next year, he's gonna ball out. And I think Oakland, I don't see Oakland making it far in the playoffs, but they're gonna probably reach 8-9 wins, I give them.
So that's where we're going to disagree. I think his numbers are actually going to go down. The thing that made Antonio Brown special was the ability of his QB to put the ball where it was supposed to be. His quarterback right now is who?
Now, of course, freaking, what's his name? His brother played too, David Carr.
Okay, so Derek Carr is not an accurate quarterback. He had good accuracy before he got that serious injury. Last year, he looked extremely sloppy. He was throwing a lot of passes short that was supposed to go deep. Mm-hmm. AB is an extremely physical and demanding receiver, similar how T.O. was. If he doesn't get the ball in his hands enough times, if he's not getting TDs or getting fantasy points, because I know he pays attention to all that.
Of course.
He's a stats guy. If he doesn't get that, you're going to see him flipping a lot of Gatorade. So, like I said, I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I think the AB is going to have a down year, at least for this season, with the Oakland Raiders.
I just look at it like if the year before Carr got hurt, right? Didn't who was it? Michael Crabtree led the league in touchdowns, red zone touchdowns, and then Amari Cooper had his good game too. And
same different team.
No, I'm talking about the year before Carr got hurt. The year before Carr got hurt.
Oh, yes.
Cooper and Michael Crabtree were killing it, fantasy-wise. They both had at least 7 touchdowns, right? I'm saying that if... Oh, no, let me go back. John Gruden believes in Carr. I personally think John Gruden believes in Carr because if he didn't, he would have traded him as soon as, like, the Super Bowl, the day after the Super Bowl was finished. Hey, who wants Carr? But I actually think he believes in him. And that's why he made the move to go ahead and get AB. You got Carr, you got AB. They need that running back. Though. And it's true. I have to agree with you, though. It's going to be difficult for him to produce the way he produced, but I still think he's going to be a top 5 wideout next year.
What about Marshawn Lynch?
See, his injuries too, that growing injury that he has been too... It's too constant injury for him. Like, yeah, you could probably get 8-9 games out of him, but you think you're going to have a healthy Marshawn if you make the playoffs?
Right. Well, there you go. That's our talk of the free agency and everything buzzing in the NFL today. Thank you for tuning in and taking Dish Sports. Again, I'm your host, Raul Infante, co-host Alexis Diaz.
Guys, once again, I appreciate everything you guys do. We appreciate the love. Hey, tune into the next video.
Yeah, and don't forget, we don't watch these sports, we analyze them.